Ferrilio is an online platform for legal solutions. It's a comprehensive go-to for small businesses to quickly find out what they don't know, to create legal documents, and to collaborate with experts and with others. It's packed full of guidance in multimedia formats, and that guidance is broken down to enable you to digest what you need to know and to set it in context as a small business. So, what you'll find on the platform are how-to videos, how do I do something, does it affect me, where does it apply to me, when does it apply to me, interactive checklists, and infographics that will set everything in context. So as small businesses, we don't wake up in the morning and think, oh, I need this bit of law. We wake up and we think, I need to grow, I need to hire, I need to sell, I need to fund. And what Ferrilio does is it puts those scenarios and the law that relates to that in context. So the aim is to empower small businesses to self-help their way through many of their legal needs from a business point of view, but where they do need an expert, to be able to rapidly connect with those experts and to invite them to collaborate with them in an environment that that small business controls. A monthly subscription opens up the entire platform to a small business, and a very simple onboarding process gets Ferrilio configuring to the user from the moment that they onboard. And it continues to do that the more that the platform is used and the more that it learns from the small business's behavior and preferences. Users can navigate through the platform using a very simple but bespoke, unique dashboard into which they can drop all sorts of things, information that they're interested in, documents that they're working on, appointments that they might have made. It stores everything relevant to the business that it can discover about you, and there it is at your fingertips. So if you forget where you've been or you're not quite sure what your tracking history was, the dashboard gets you back there really quickly. We're launching in 3 weeks' time, so at the end of this month, so we're hugely excited. But I think for us, what's the most exciting point is the very, very real problem that we're solving, and it's a big one. So the UK's 5.7 million small businesses find access to law today to be baffling, intimidating, costly, really clunky, and altogether unsatisfactory. And they make no secret of the way that they feel about that. And it's worth looking at the impact of that in a bit of context, because those 5.7 million small businesses represent 99.3% of the UK's total business. That's 47% of total private sector revenue. So they might be small as businesses, but their impact is really big. And what they are telling us loud and clear is that access to legal services is getting in their way, and it is holding them back. And we know this very certainly because of the many authoritative surveys that have been done by the regulators, by the Legal Services Board, by university think tanks on a fairly consistent and regular basis, and they come to the same story, and it's not a good one. 86% of small businesses find lawyers inaccessible and they think that they're poor value. Over 50% of them will only use a lawyer as a last resort, not because they don't think they need one, but because they find the experience awful. Their words, not mine. 39% of those who were surveyed in one of the most recent surveys said, yes, we've gone online, no idea what we actually found a solution, maybe used that solution, but didn't really feel any more empowered and certainly didn't feel any sense of loyalty to it. So it is a big problem, and it needs to be solved. Meanwhile, great caliber law firms can see that there's a problem. The regulator is constantly beating us all up about it, and we can see that there's demand, and we can see that there's potential. But law firms cannot profitably serve this community of small businesses. And so innovation of the breadth and depth that's really needed just isn't happening. Until now. We set out with Ferrilio to create a technologically savvy, modern environment to connect experts properly with small businesses in a way that is efficient for them, affordable for them, and really importantly, profitable for both sides. It's probably worth taking a quick look by way of giving you an example about how Ferrilio really adds value and how the experts that sit behind the platform can really embed into your daily life as you run your business as a small business owner. There's a couple of screenshots there. So let's imagine for a moment that I'm a small business owner and I woke up this morning thinking I need to hire someone. I might be doing it for the first time, I might have done it many times over and need a bit of a refresher. I'm already a member of Ferrilio, I've onboarded, and I'm out and about, so I'm going to go in on my mobile and I'm going to hunt for the information I want. The clue here is hunt. I don't need to hunt because Ferrilio is starting to know me quite well. I've got a variety of different choices when it comes to finding what I want. In this case, I'm going to use a specially designed interface that we've developed so that I can very quickly find hiring guidance, and it's serving itself up to me. That guidance is broken down into digestible bite-sized chunks, so I can watch a how-to video on the hiring process. I might be able to watch another short video about how to go about setting wages. What else I might need to know? Auto-enrollment, pensions, tax, PAYE, things I might not have thought about when I thought actually I need somebody else on site because there's a job that needs to be done. So not only do I understand where the law fits and what's relevant, but I'm starting to see the entire landscape around the scenario that I need to resolve. So I have my chronological steps through one of the infographics. I know what I need to do next, and I decide that I want a template. I want an employment contract. Ferrilio is already predicting me because it can see what I'm looking at and how I'm consuming, and I can actually choose a template off that same guidance page, or I could search for it. It drops it into my collaborative document editor tool, and away I go, because I'm pretty confident that I can do this on my own. There's lots of guidance built around this template, so I can look at what a clause means, why it's useful to me when it might not be relevant to me, how I change wording, and I'm tailoring with real confidence something that I feel is going to be very robust. But if at any point I've got a question or I'm not sure or I actually would like someone to draft it for me, with a touch of a few buttons, I can invite the right expert into my space who knows my business, can see the document that I'm working on, knows that document really well because it's their document and they wrote it. And I can have a real-time collaborative conversation with them about what I need, what my hopes are, what I might be missing that they can tell me, because as a small business we often don't know what we don't know. And at the end of that conversation, I have a really robust product that actually, if it's an employment contract, I'm likely to use it several times, I can rinse and repeat that for no extra cost. So it's highly efficient. It's efficient for the lawyers. They're not having to draft lots of documents. It's a document they know really well, but it's really efficient and really affordable for our community. And if at any point I really might like to talk to somebody about tax or pensions, I can speak to the front of house team, or I can navigate throughout the rest of the site to find what else I need to know to complete that hiring scenario. Well, it will work, and we're very confident that it will work. To make it work requires three things: the right people, the right model, and the right timing. We have the right people. We know law, we know business, and we know technology inside out. I know law. I've been 20 years in law and business, advising multinational as well as market-leading small businesses, and I've won awards for the way that I advise. I know business too. This isn't my first startup, it is the first independently owned startup that I've had, but I built a version of Ferrilio before for an insurance company, much more basic than what we're doing here, but it was very successful, and it was recently recognized for excellence in technology by the Law Society. But it's about more than me. We have a really, really great team. Members of our team have built online banks, apps, wearables, medtech and health tech solutions, and all of them have held relevant roles in household brands like Virgin. Our CTO was one of their CTOs, Google, Essential, De Beers, and almost every member of our team has founded or co-founded a small business previously, so we have it in the blood. Our advisors include the chairman for small businesses at RBS, the head of legal and regulatory at the Law Society, and senior legal heavyweights who know law and who know technology. And like us, they're at the cutting edge of it. We're building in Tech Hub at Google's campus London, so again, we're in the middle of tech startup heartland. Model-wise, a model is also really important. We have a very straightforward route to market. Small businesses find us either directly, and we're very active on social media, which works very well for us, But they can also find us wrapped up in the services that they already consume from other trusted providers. So we're very plug and play to others who have existing established small business customer base. So it could be a bank, it might be an insurance provider, an accountancy solution, an HR advisor, trade associations. We're very versatile. Our revenue model is very straightforward. We make the bulk of our money from subscriptions, from the pay-as-you-go solutions on the platform, and from referrals from the law firms and the experts who back us. But we also have licensing, advertising, and sponsorship in our model because we learned very early on that these seem to be really interesting to people we'd not thought of before, and so we're factoring them into the way that we scale up and grow going forward. Timing, really important. When I first wanted to do this 5 years ago, aside from not quite feeling brave enough to do it, the tech just wasn't there. Airbnb, Deliveroo, Farfetch, they weren't really out there. SaaS wasn't a word that we recognized as consumers, and the whole idea of having a platform view of law was something people just weren't familiar with. But the technology is there now. We can do it. We've got the right people, we've got the right model, and the timing is absolutely right. So for us, this is all about making law fast, simple, and affordable for SMEs. And we firmly believe that the time is right, that law caught up with the modern world, and that great experts could really empower small businesses the way that they should.